Hey guys, it's Clay from Clear Critique. May is almost here, so it's time to go through some movies coming out and discuss whether they look like they're worthy of your time and money. As usual, I'm giving each one a rating of watch, wait a while, or avoid. Be sure to subscribe to support the channel and let me know what you think of these 5 movies. Let's get right to it. First up is the upcoming sequel of the horror film A Quiet Place. The basic concept of these films is that there are monsters that are wiping out humanity, and the hook is that their hearing is extremely sensitive. A strong hook, to be sure, but I'll admit I had lukewarm feelings about the original film. I didn't find it scary, for one, and was and still am baffled at the praise/complaints about how quiet this place was. It's not quiet if there's a shitload of music. What did work about the original were the lead performances, some of the effects work, and the unexpected and welcome shift from horror to action at the climax. I may be in the minority here, but A Quiet Place didn't boast the tense horror chops in its directing or pacing, and A Quiet Place Part 2, as if cognizant of this, explores the action opportunities of this concept. Throughout the trailer, there's an equal time given to both the silent moments we've come to expect and flurries of action. The tracking shot inside the car is a neat way to set up a louder, panicky environment, and it's visually engaging. The marketing teases some promising sequences and character dynamics, giving this slightly jaded critic the impression that this will be the right kind of sequel, one that expands upon and experiments with the original concept. This film has been delayed several times, so for all I know, it could change again when this video is up. But as of writing, A Quiet Place Part 2 will hit theaters May 28th and be available on Paramount Plus about a month afterwards. And I'm giving this one a watch. Can we agree that this trope of trailers using slowed down, overdramatic versions of popular songs is getting so old it's paying interns in nickels? Seriously, what is going on?
I made a mistake.
Yes, it worked well in Logan and the Batman because the songs actually fit, but the Candyman one is just laughable, and the frequency of these makes me feel like I'm being pranked. So Clay, you ask, why do you bring this up? Because May is bringing another one! The film is called Wrath of Man, an action film starring Jason Statham, and honestly, this recent cliche is the least of this trailer's problems. For starters, most of the visuals are bland, and the sheer amount of them implies that we're going to get a lot of dull dialogue scenes while we search our theater seats for the fast forward button. Statham is on autopilot, and this hurts for me to say as someone who loves Lock, Stock, and Snatch, but the Guy Ritchie header is, for me, a note of concern rather than praise. The gentleman felt forced, awkwardly trying to relive the glory days like a fat guy attempting to bench his college max. And the less said about the Aladdin remake, the better. So, not a pedigree of promise. Yet, I'm not tossing aside this movie either because there are a few flashes of action that look at least competent. Having the camera stay on a character for 2 separate kills instead of cutting 12 times is a good sign. I know, that's where we're at with action expectations now, but the trailer is hinting at a brutal efficiency with the violence. Overall, this looks mediocre. At best, it's the kind of guy movie to casually watch with your dad when it's on cable years later. So you can check out Wrath of Man in theaters May 7th, and I'm going to be very generous and give this one a wait. Next is the thriller The Woman in the Window starring Amy Adams. For anyone who watches the trailer, the Rear Window vibes are stark. A protagonist, constrained in their home, catches a potential murder through their window and struggles to both outwit the killer and convince others of the crime. The main difference is that here the main character has agoraphobia, meaning she's terrified of leaving the house. As someone who loves horror and reviews it often, I enjoy seeing films of the genre use certain ailments or obstacles to their benefit. Deafness, a physical handicap, being black in America, having a character physically and mentally trapped is a great setup for some tension, Hitchcockian or otherwise, and Joe Wright is a director I feel confident in calling a visionary. Every film he does, even ones I wasn't fond of, have both clear and vibrant visual goals, like making the entire film appear as a stage production. Seeing an art house type director tackle horror has definite appeal, and the pitch alone seems perfect for an unpredictable, disturbing if not scary mystery thriller. And while we're on that, the fact that the movie will turn into a killer in a house scenario in the climax is a bad move. The confrontation is almost always the least scary part of any horror or thriller film, and this particular trope is so tired at this point I can play it out in my head. If this film's climax doesn't contain the protagonist either running in the rain on the rooftop or dangling from a banister, I will take a gigantic shot on my new Twitch channel. Seriously, comment with any alcohol you want, because it's gonna happen in this film. The Woman in the Window comes on Netflix May 14th, and despite some reservations, I think the concept, cast, and director are enough to give this one a watch. Second to last is Those Who Wish Me Dead. I'm going to make this brief and say that of these 5 films, this is the one I'm looking forward to the most. For starters, the plot combines 2 film genres I haven't seen mixed together before, and that's chase mixed with disaster. The chase comprises of men trying to track down and kill a young boy who witnessed a murder, while the protagonist protects him. And the disaster is the forest fire the villains start to flush them out. So many great opportunities here. How the fire can increase a sense of panic by bottlenecking the characters, how it can act as obfuscation, and how engaging it can look on a surface level. I'm also partial to the concept because I liked the video game Firewatch. And lastly, the film is directed by Taylor Sheridan, who wrote Sicario and Hell or High Water, and wrote/directed the underrated Wind River. All of his projects share a frank brutality to both their emotional catharsis and physical violence. You know when watching a film he wrote or directed that you'll see a familiar sequence, like a robbery or a military operation, but in a wholly original way. They are unforgiving. No, I don't know what the hell Tyler Perry is doing here, but the involvement of Angelina Jolie, John Barenthal, and Nicholas Hoult more than make up for it. This is one of those films that feels like they made it for me, if that makes any sense. So I'm pretty excited. Those Who Wish Me Dead will hit theaters and HBO Max on May 14th, and it's a watch for me. Duh. Last up is Cruella, the original story for the famous Disney villain starring Emma Stone. Man, I thought, this time I won't tick off as many viewers. May's looking good, at least comparably good. I'm full of coffee and optimism. And then Cruella had to come by and guarantee those downvotes. It's okay, I have thick skin. I welcome all differing opinions in the comments, because sweet Jesus, does this look terrible. I'll go ahead and echo what others have commented in that this trailer is obviously trying to emulate Joker and Birds of Prey, or the emancipation of whoever designed this poster from employment. Color palette, the triumphant music, the general attitude of cheerful rebellion, it's all there. Yet with the stamp of Disney, we know that not only will this have no balls, but based on other Disney remakes will likely extend its runtime with filler and explanations we don't need. Except here, everything we don't need is the film itself. Who is asking for a Cruella movie? The trailer itself is intravenous cringe. The moment she lights her cloak on fire, I thought we were getting a Cruella with superpowers. The CGI is horrible. How would this not turn into a sassy barbecue? And what is even the point of this? It doesn't help that Emma Stone's line reading sounds like something you'd see in a YouTube skit by Doug Walker.
What was your name? Cruella.
I've been rewatching the older Disney films and was pleased to see that they mostly hold up. Cruella's character from 101 Dalmatians is one of the best villains they ever made. The cackling voice is perfect. The massive fur coat and cigarette holder are iconic. In the little time she's on screen, Cruella brings a real sense of danger. Here, Cruella is the lead, and it's like I'm watching a low-effort costume party. It's just trying too hard to be cool. And this is astoundingly, embarrassingly, categorically uncool. Cruella will be in theaters and Disney Plus Premiere Access May 28th, and I'm giving this one an avoid. What are your expectations for these 5 films? Will you check any of them out? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get updated on new videos. I just put out a video about Oscar snubs and will have more Oscar videos coming soon. As always, thanks for watching.